This might look like an absolute disaster, but it's not. It's been planted. It's deliberate. This is biodiversity at work, and it will encourage butterflies and bees and hoverflies, and it's part of a larger project here at Trinent outside Edinburgh. And the coordinator of the project is Pamela McGinley. Pamela, tell me something about the project and what we're doing here.
Here we're trying to encourage children in physical activity and learning about fresh produce and hopefully going home and doing it in their own gardens.
Are you involved just with schools or with the wider community as well?
No, we work with parents. Any groups in the community that sort of ask us, we'll go and do work with them about just promoting healthy eating.
Okay. Which is the easiest to get them to eat?
Fruit.
Fruit,
Definitely
is it?
Fruit, yes.
So the big challenge is to get small boys to eat Brussels sprouts.
Definitely.
Have you managed?
Not quite. It's a challenge, definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
Definitely quite hard work, but I do think we're getting there.
Good, well
Definitely.
done. Okay, you try that. Now eat the bit on the end. Do you not like it? Why? Food for free. It's just growing and you can just eat it.
Just say.
This is what we called surdux, but it's called sorrel. And we used to eat this on the way home from school. Corinne Cipollina maintains the garden here for roots and fruits.
These are apples, and they've been cordoned to save on space, and there's many different varieties, and they're hardy and work well in Scotland. They grow well.
Right. Yeah.
And all the schools have planted one tree
Oh, that's good.
so that they can come and see it progressing and
Okay.
growing. And we've got potatoes here and peas, and we try to grow old varieties. You can see the nice purple
Lovely
one
flower
at the
on
back.
that. Now, do you save the seed off these?
We try to, yes,
Yeah.
and we also save seeds from the beans.
Right,
That's quite
okay.
interesting, and we regrow them. And here we have onions and shallots, and we're trying here in this bed to grow them the way they might grow them in Cuba. I won a fellowship
Why
to go
Cuba?
to Cuba to study sustainable agriculture.
Okay.
So obviously to be sustainable, they don't dig up the onions, they cut the tops off and use them
So
in
they just
salads.
use that in salads and in
Yes,
cooking?
yes.
Yeah, they're
So we
looking
just
very
look-
good. I mean, there's some great growth on some of these.
So we
But
thought
the
we'd
growth
try
on
that.
that's good.
Yes,
I like that.
yes.
Yeah.
This is mountain spinach,
Yeah.
and we just grow it 'cause it's such a lovely colour, and it's fun for the kids
Yeah.
to see a different type of spinach, and we grow it above the calendula.
Right, so this is companion plant. This is
Yes.
biodiversity at work, and with the limnanthus at the back, it's
Yes.
absolutely fantastic. So hoverflies to keep the green fly away. Now we've got black currants here.
Yes, we try and grow black currants and red currants, raspberries, perennial fruit being really important for children, and also to make it more sustainable, and there's not so much work involved, it just stays there.
Do you then freeze this and use it, or what do
Yes,
you do?
so we make jams or freeze it, and then we let the children taste it when they come back, because obviously they fruit when they're away in the summer.
And your
And
cabbage
then
and
we
things
have
here.
cabbages here and broccoli,
Pigeons have been at those.
yes, and the moths as well, obviously
Right,
eating
okay,
them.
so cabbage root fly,
Right.
possibly a problem too. Now, your pieces of plastic around that, what's that for?
To get them to grow quickly, more heat round about them, and also to try and stop the fly.
Or the cabbage root fly.
Yeah.
Well, I've got another way that we can stop the cabbage root fly, and I'll
Okay.
show you that a bit later on when we
Okay.
plant some more brassicas.
Good,
So
good.
that's good over there. Look at that, so many plums on here, there's one or two falling off. I think we'll have to thin them out. So would you give me a hand and you just pull off one or two of these? Because what we've got to do is to make sure there are not too many plums. Because the idea is, if we leave all the plums on, what will happen is they'll just be small plums and they'll not be worth eating. That's right, because they can't grow. Karen, I promised you earlier that what I would do would show you some way of stopping cabbage root fly. Now, I said that it was going to be different, and this is it. This is kitchen foil. And what I'm going to do is just cut off little pieces. Each one of those, we're going to wrap round the stem of the plant, okay? So we just wrap it really quite loosely like that, okay? And then when we plant them at the right distance apart, just plant them like that, so that that piece of foil is just at soil level, and that way the little grubs can't reach the stem of the plant. Good idea. Don't need to use any chemicals. We've planted the bed over there, and what we've done is put red cabbage down the middle. There are sprouting broccoli at this end on the outside, and there are 2 sprouts at the end. Then we planted the rest of the sprouts here, but we've got a lot more to do. We're going to plant leeks in here, then we're going to plant courgettes, lettuce, climbing French beans, and by that time, it'll be time to go home.
Spend 2 half-days a week in the garden, and that includes picking children up, bringing them here, instructing them, taking them back. So it doesn't leave much time for actually working.
Not really for doing anything here.
No.
Can resources not stretch to more than that?
No, we find it very difficult to get funding for the garden project, so no, there's not really anything at the moment.
So what's the long-term prospect for roots and fruits?
But we won't have this garden long term now. So really the main aim for us would be to have a garden like this in every school in East Lothian.
That would be fantastic,
It
wouldn't
would,
it?
but a big challenge.
A huge challenge.
Oh yes, definitely.